Hello, my darlings. Hello, Phoenix fam. Daniella here with ReDYLF, and welcome to my last day. Holy crap, how did February go by so fast? Was it just me? Or did February go by like bam? Is it just me, or is time speeding up? Just overall. Like, the whole year just seems to be gone in 6 months. Maybe it's just me. I don't know. If it's not just me, comment below. I'd love to hear from you. Hey, Miss Rhonda. Good to see you, man. So, tonight, for I'm turning into a pirate. For my last day of my video challenge to you all, for now, of course I will be coming to you weekly, and I will come up with some reason to have another challenge later on in the year. I wanted to drop a truth bomb on y'all, and it's something that I didn't even realize for the longest time, even about my own journey. You know, I've been working on the spirituality thing, I want to say actually pretty much my whole life. Whether or not I realized it, I've pretty much been doing this my whole life. And what I never realized in all of my searching, I was searching out here. And we're going to get to that in a moment. But the truth bomb I want to work on you. And this dovetails beautifully, actually, with yesterday's video about if your dream is hard, it doesn't mean it's the wrong dream. And if you missed that one, you should definitely go back and watch it. It should be right down there. The dream is the work, and the work is the dream. Now you say, what the heck does that mean, Daniella? What? Work is the dream, and the dream is the work? What? What that means is, and this dovetails into what I've discovered after all of these years, is that we go around neglecting the true work that we are here to do on ourselves as a soul, going through and decalibrating from all of these experiences that we had in childhood so that we can emerge in our actual true inner power as a spiritual being having a physical experience. That actually requires work. A lot of people are going to tell you that if it doesn't happen like that, then you're doing it wrong. But in reality, if it's not coming like that, the work you are doing is maybe incorrectly focused. There's an idea for you. Noodle that one over. But what I discovered is that even though I actually went out and got a dream. I went out, I got a dream. I went into costume design. I went and I worked for Universal Studios, huge male-dominated industry, went in there, owned it, worked for Universal, did the thing, made tons of costumes, all the stuff. I made a dream. But when I got there, it wasn't what I wanted. Not really. It wasn't actually what I was looking for. It didn't actually ever give me what I was looking for. So what now? And that, more or less, set me on the path that you are seeing now. So maybe you find yourself in this position where you've gone out and you've done the thing. You've done the thing that you should do. You've gone out and you've conquered the world. Whatever that is. Maybe that's being, a PhD. Maybe that's being in a corporate world. Maybe that's crushing, having 4 kids and being awesome. Whatever that is. But maybe along the way, you realized it's not actually fulfilling you in the way that you thought it would. Or you've gotten stalled out so much that you've pretty much almost given up on whatever that was and kind of just resigned yourself, more or less, to accepting whatever you have. Just be grateful for whatever you have. Who else has that programming as a kid? We just need to be grateful for whatever we have. That's called depression programming, my friends. Point being. Whoop, sorry, I just got out of the shower, so my hair is being a little unruly, as usual. My hair has a mind of its own, as I'm sure yours does as well. The dream is the work, and the work is the dream. So you've gone along, and you've either gotten the dream, and it didn't fulfill you, maybe like me, or you've tried and tried and tried, and you've plugged away and you've plugged away, and maybe you've seen some success. Maybe you've been stopped at every turn. And you're about to give it up. And you don't understand, like I didn't either, why and how this could be happening. If we are doing everything we should be doing, why are we not seeing the success we should be seeing? That is the question. The work is the dream, and the dream is the work. What work am I talking about? Okay, Daniela, we talked about work. I've got my dream. I went and worked out. I went and got my dream. I did this. I did that. I did the other. Okay, where is it? Why am I not happy? And what I've come to realize through all of my years of searching, back around, is that the work that we thought we should be doing was misdirected in a more or less, hopefully, loving way, because it was passed down to us as programming by people who had been programmed themselves, and so on and so forth, that these are the things that you do to achieve success. And maybe 40, 50, 60, 100 years ago, more, maybe that worked. But I don't know if you've noticed, but we are going through an ascension. If you have come here, if you are here right now, and particularly if you're in this group and you're watching me and you're hanging out and you're sticking around and listening to me talk about all these crazy kinds of concepts and you're still sticking around, that you know that there is something happening. You may not understand what it is, but you're curious. At least, I hope. We are going through an ascension. The planet is moving from one density, one vibratory rate, into another. We, as souls, saw this happening, and we were like, woo! Roller coaster! Let's go! Let's go! Because we're crazy. Seems like it sometimes, right? Like, why did we choose to show up now? Really? Why? At least this is sometimes what I ask myself. Maybe you ask yourself the same question. It's like, if you know that we decided on coming here, why? And this is, of course, a big question. That is a whole nother question for another day. But what it comes down to is that we chose to be here because we knew this was happening. We knew that the vibratory rate was changing. We knew that this would be an opportunity for us to hop on the back and ride the wave. Okay? But what's happened is that as we are riding this wave, past, present, future, okay, we're going along, what worked 100 years ago, which has what's been pretty much passed down to us, because my parents are about 80, so do the math, okay? What they got taught, their parents lived through the Depression, so they got all of that programming. So guess what I got? Guess what you got? Probably. It's crazy, isn't it, when you think about it? Holy shit! But we came here knowing that this was the time to ride. But what happens is that all of the stuff that gets passed down turns our head, our consciousness, our attention, our focus away from what we as souls came here to do and experience, ride the wave, and onto these more physical things about how to get by and live and succeed in the physical world through the ways that they knew how to do it 100 years ago, 200 years ago, all of these ways, okay? Now what's happening is that this ascension process is ongoing. It is currently happening. It is happening right now as I'm talking. There are changes happening every second that I'm talking. And every second now. And forward and forward and forward. It is changing. It is moving. So what worked then is not going to work now. What we are having now is a huge situation in which, as the ascension process moves forward, the energy vibration gets ramped up. You see it across the entire solar system. NASA has finally confirmed it. Thank God they're finally on board. Bless them. That all of the planets are heating up. They're all doing all kinds of crazy things. This is happening. There is something happening. So what's happening is that the things that we got taught that we should be focused on, the work that we should be doing towards our dream, that's not going to work anymore. Because guess what? We are not in then. Energetically. It's just not possible for it to work anymore. Because that was then, and this is now. So we can't use the same tactics. We can't use the same coping mechanisms. We can't do any of that stuff anymore. Hey, Miss Courtney, good to see you, lovely. Thanks for stopping by. We can't do any of this stuff anymore. So the work that we were taught to do for our dream, thank you, lovely, is now not serving us. And we're all looking around bewildered going, why? Why isn't this serving us? Is because what we haven't been taught to realize is the real work is to actually get to know ourselves. Light bulb. Is actually to get to know ourselves. Who are we? I am. I am what? Most people, if you go up to them and say, I am, they'll fill in a blank. That is the natural thing that we have been programmed to do. I am a mother. I am a teacher. I am a seamstress. I am a coach. I am a wife, a father, a husband, whatever. I am a student. I am a corporate worker. Instead of just figuring out what you actually are. Because that fill in the blank on the end of the I am, that's not what you are. Not at all. Have you ever listened to David Icke's work? If you haven't listened to David Icke's work, that'll blow your head off. But he's got a great example of the fact that we have all been conditioned spiritually, because we're souls in a body, but we have been conditioned as a soul to think, the soul thinks now, that we're Ethel at the checkout, instead of a spiritual being having an experience of being Ethel at the checkout. We've completely integrated into our ego personality of what we should do, who we should be, the dreams we should follow to find success, to find happiness, to find love, to find acceptance, to find understanding, to find peace of mind. Ooh. It's a big one. But it's not working, is it? Nope. And why? Because the work is the dream, and the dream is the work. Most people ask me too, they go, Daniella, why? I mean, I get why spirituality, I mean, it's not a fad anymore, it's actually a thing, but how is that actually having any sort of impact on my physical life? Like, meditation isn't paying my bills. Like, I don't get it. And that's a great question. And that's how we're going to round this out. As it turns out, that whole thing, the stuff we should have done, the work that we should do, this whole paying bills and all of that good stuff. Yes, we have to survive in the physical world. Okay, I get it. All right? We're not all up on a mountain. It's not that easy. If we had signed up for that easy, we'd be over there. It's actually a bajillion, and I just made that up, times harder to do this work in the state and the places and the beings that we inhabit now, as opposed to a monk up in a monastery. We have the hard job of finding our own peace in and amidst all of this junk. They get to find peace in peace. Okay? So you are a superhero, and don't forget it. But why should you care about spirituality? Because the dream is the work, and the work is the dream. If you don't do that inner work, if you neglect your inner work, if you neglect figuring out who you are, what you really dream about, what impact you want to make, what you want to share, what your real gift is, not what somebody told you that you were good at or not good at. Until we start doing that work and start bringing those pieces of ourselves back into ourselves and looking at them and say, oh my God, I've missed you. And they can be good stuff and they can be bad stuff, but the work is to actually start reintegrating all of these things about ourself that we've thrown away, chasing all of the stuff that we should have been chasing to get the success that we should have had. But we're not getting that level of success. Or if we are getting that level of success, there is something missing. And it's usually, in my case, and maybe in yours too, it's that inner component. Sure, I had lots of money. Sure, I had, all kinds of health plans and this and that, and, and the Universal, and I could just walk into anywhere and be like, oh yeah, I work at Universal Studios. And they'd be like, ah! But that wasn't fulfilling to me. That didn't give me peace of mind. That didn't tell me who I was. That told me what I could do if I followed a certain level of shoulds. Because I thought all I was good at was art. Because that's what I was told. All of these things. If you take the time to actually break down your life, you might end up horrified. So don't be afraid and not do it. But it might freak you out about how many things in your life, how many things you've done, choices you've made, the person you've become, even, how much that was dictated by this other list of shoulds that was taught to us, but has absolutely nothing to do with who we, as a soul, an individualized piece of consciousness, is, and all of our experiences from other lifetimes and all that stuff. So the work is the dream, and the dream is the work. Because if we start working on ourselves, and here we go right back around, we live now, as the earth is transitioning into this ascension phase, or transitioning through, because we're already in it. Let's not lie about that, folks. We're in it. We're in the trenches now, you guys. It's true. We're in the trenches. This is Normandy. This is not cute. Sometimes it's fun, but it's also not cute in a lot of ways. We got to be serious sometimes. And that comes with doing that inner work. Because you'll find that even if you've gained some level of success, it's not fulfilling. You don't know who you are. You still don't love yourself. You're still not happy. Or you've never been able to get to that dream because there's been stopper and blockers the entire way. And you don't know why. Why? Because we actually live in a time now where the universe, more so than ever, at least in our recorded history that we know of, is being a mirror energetically to us now more so than ever. Because now is the ascension. Now it's time. Now it's time. So if we're not doing that stuff, all of this negative shit is going to start showing up in our outer world. It's just going to keep getting worse and worse and worse until we look at ourselves and go, oh, holy moly, Mother of God, that's what's been missing? That I've been neglecting myself? And then to actually start to take the action. Because to know the knowledge, this is one of my pet peeves, and it drives me crazy, you guys. So much that I hear from people is that, oh, well, just knowing about it is enough. I've ID'd it, I know about it, it's there, Or it's like, particularly with spiritual teachings or practices or whatever, they're like, oh yeah, I know about that, but it's enough for me to know it. I don't need to practice it. I'm just carrying the light. You know, other people can do that work. Sorry to be so dramatic, you guys, but it's a big pet peeve for me. Because you can't not do it. I can honestly say, for the good chunk of the beginning of my life, because I didn't know any better, and maybe you too, I had spent everything bit of energy I could on not facing my inner self. On not having to do this inner work. Because I'm like, I'll do it later. It's not important. It's not paying the bills. It's not, meditation isn't putting food on the table, right? Boy, was I wrong. And maybe you find yourself in a similar position. But that's the truth bomb. Is that if it's not working out, if you've gone through life and you've got to this point, here you are, and you're like looking around your life. Sorry, this one bit of my hair is dry and the rest of it's not, so it... You got to start looking at where you're putting your focus of your work. If you're putting your focus of your work in trying to grind that 9 to 5 till you grind your bones into fine dust powder, that's not getting you where you want to go, is it? But then you say, well, I don't know any other way. You're in this group. I am sharing with you all the time, all the different ways. You can even contact me. We can get you on my calendar, and I will personally sit down with you and listen to you and tell you where all of your shit is. Because that's what I do. But just knowing where all the shit is, just knowing this isn't enough anymore. Not anymore. We are in a phase of this ascension process where our guides, our higher self, the universe is quite literally not letting us not do it. You will probably find this in your own life. That you constantly feel irritated or you're constantly unsettled and you don't know what's irritating you. You don't know what's causing you so much anxiety. You don't know why your fibromyalgia is flaring up. Which anxiety, by the way, is a huge trigger. I know lots of people with fibro. It's all about this. You're itching inside. You're unsettled inside because the inside of you knows that train's a-leaving. It's time to get to work. And the real work. So if you're going to go after your big, beautiful dream, which please, go after your big, beautiful dream. That is what this is all about. This is what we came here to do, is to figure out who we are and to follow that. But we've spent so much of our time following what we thought we should do that it's left us now in this place where we're kind of, adrift. We're like, great, I got here, now what? Still not happy. Still don't love myself. Still don't feel secure. Still don't trust people. Now what? This is the key that's missing. So if you're spending a lot of your time on a lot of these outer things, you are literally putting all of your energy and your focus and your attention out here. And that is just not where it's at. It's in here. It's in here. In here. It's up there. Directly connected. Okay? It's all about finding who you are. Who are you? I am. Don't fill it in. I know it's tempting. Who are you? I'm still finding out who I am. This is an ongoing process, folks. I will not be the same Daniella coming to you next year as I am now, because I will continue to learn and to grow, but to act, to take the time. That is literally what is holding so many of us back, is that we are just not taking the time to do the inner work that is going to change our vibration, because we live in a universe that works off of what? You've heard it. The law of attraction, the law of vibration, law of mirroring. Whatever you are in here is what you will see out here. So if you don't like what you see out here, if you're not getting what you really want out of life, if you're not feeling how you thought you should feel, then maybe start putting your focus in another place, in here, and finding out who you are, what you like. What are those parts of yourself that you had to shove aside and throw away and, what's the word? Ostracize, ostracate, abandon. What are those parts of yourself that you have had to fragment to get where you are now in this survival mode? What have you had to let go of that you didn't really want to let go of? These are all very important questions that you should be asking yourself. And that is the work. And that work is the dream. Because when you are in here, it will show out here. And I can guarantee that. So, that is my truth bomb for you all, my lovelies. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Throw hashtag replay in if you are watching this after the fact. This has been an absolute thrill and a joy to come to you for the whole month of February. As always, it's amazing because I have to come up with these things that I think that you will care about or take your questions, and it is always a journey for me to share this time with you so that you can get to know me a little bit better, but that also it's a challenge to me, because that's one of my things, is that visibility has always been a thing for me when it comes to the shoulds. You know, you should always fly under the radar. You should always not, make too much of a fuss. You should be seen and not heard. Anybody else recognizing any of these? So to come to you for an entire month, every day, is a challenge. Because sure, I can do one-on-ones all day long, but to actually come to you every day and show you my face, whatever mood I'm in, and share something of myself with you, of what I know, of some fun time, whatever, that is a challenge. And so hopefully by doing this, I am inspiring you. And that's all that it's all about, is inspiring you to actually take that action. Do the work. Get your dream. And again, if the dream is hard, that doesn't mean it's the wrong dream. It just means that maybe, just like we talked about yesterday, there's a kink in the chain. And what does that mean? Your focus is in the wrong spot. All right, my darlings. This is going to be it for me. I've been on here way too long, but that is something I definitely wanted to get out and share with you, because that is huge. When you realize that all of this work that we should have been doing to get the results that we should have gotten is really just leading in a is really just leading in a direction that hasn't led us anywhere. Us as souls. Where we really want to go in our heart of hearts. So think about it. Noodle it. Throw comments in the bottom. If you have questions, you can always feel free to message me. If you have any suggestions of topics that you want me to cover, or questions, or this or that, always feel free to message me. And if this has really inspired you, if you are interested in taking that to the next level and actually doing that deep dive and getting that clarity and that support, please contact me. I'd love to get you on my calendar, because this is what it's all about. It's about figuring it out. It's about doing the work and seeing the results, instead of all of this should stuff that has pretty much got us nowhere. The dream is the work, and the work is the dream. I'm going to go do some work right now. Mwah! Thank you so much for watching. I will see you all later.